Good morning. Welcome to another day. My name is Daniel Bombing, and welcome to the Yeshua Sermons. Today is the pure in heart. In Matthew 5, he says, "Happy as those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God." This scripture almost runs in contradiction to Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, and who would know it?" Well, in our world, heart is the equivalent to our emotions. It stores all our feelings, and when girls fall in love, they go, "Oh, my heart, oh, my heart." Man goes like, "Oh, she makes my heart beat faster." So heart has become known more reference to our emotions. The reference to our mind is our intellect. My mind's made up. My mind thinks this. My mind thinks that. My thought comes from my mind. So the Greek way of thinking, which a lot of our modernistic ideals have sprung from, is that, our heart is something absolute of different as compared to our mind. But in the Hebrew, the heart is everything. It is both the intellect as well as the emotional. As a man thinks in his heart, so he is. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. In the Greek world, that doesn't make sense. Your heart doesn't think. You think. Your mind thinks. But a heart generates the thought. So therefore, the writer said, the heart is deceitful above all things, because as a man's heart is, so is his mind. So all the roots are basically right there. So what is everything? We look at the Holman Christian Standard of the Scriptures, and it is written, "It is more deceitful. The heart is more deceitful than anything else, and is incurable. Who can understand it?" As well as the JPS Tanakh reads, "The heart is deceitful above all things and exceedingly weak. Who am I to know it?" King James says wicked. Hebrew says weak. So then, if a man is pure in heart, he would have a strong heart. "Create in me a clean heart for me, and renew a steadfast spirit within me," as the Holman Christian Standard Bible. Again, the Tanakh says, "Create me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." So then, realistically, the pure in heart is one who has a strong heart. I remember a pastor once in my life. His name was Walter Selke. Still pastor, still looks after a church here in Regina, Saskatchewan called Healing Hearts. And I had a discussion. I said, if I listen to my heart, I will never go wrong. But when I listen to my head, I make errors. He argued with me. He said, no, your heart is evil. That crushed me. It hurt me. I thought he was saying something about me. As I realized that he was probably more reflective on the Greek than he was the Hebrew. Whereas my mind, I would find almost a decade later, thinks along the line of the Hebrew. Over my years, I had a miracle. Just shortly after my divorce with Tanya, my first wife, where my heartbeat changed. I began to feel tense. I felt tingles through my body, everything. I thought I was having a stroke. I was only in my 30s, late mid-40s. So I went to see the doctor. Doctor ran all kinds of tests. Turned around, called me in his office. I'm thinking to myself, oh, this can't be good. He went over the results and he was looking at them. He sat quietly for a few minutes. Of course, I'm getting worried. Oh no, I'm dying. As you can see, at 63 years of age, I did not die. He turned around and he says, well, from best I can understand, Daniel, your heart beats from a half beat to a full beat slower than a normal heart. Dr. Suri, what is that? Is that a good thing? It's a bad thing? He said, actually, it's a good thing. He said, your heart slows by a half to full beat. What that means is that your heart's gotten stronger. God manifested within me, a new heart. He says, it's almost like you have been given a new heart. Indeed, I had. The way I used to think, the way I used to act, the way I used to be from that moment began to change. My thoughts, my ideals had changed. There are those which would surmise that maybe that's when God gave me the heart of a Jewish man. I go, you don't have a heart of a Jewish man by some miracle. If you're a Jewish heart, you're Jewish by birth. Simplistic. I have no idea what I am by birth. Most of what my mother told me, outside of a few facts, I found to be absolute barefaced lies. But that's another subject. What we need to do is examine our heart. Blessed is the man who is pure in heart, for he shall see God. Happy having a pure heart, having a heart that concentrates on the things of God, a heart that meditates daily on His Word, a heart that seeks after and hungers after God, after Yahweh. Over the decades, I have shown people something very mysterious to me. For as criticized as I am sometimes by people, I took a view of my life and compared to King David. I looked like gold. But I sat there and I looked at it and said David was a man after his own heart. What this idolatrous, almost insane individual had a heart after God. It took me a while to catch on what that meant. Because when things went wrong, David had the ability to stand up and say, I was wrong. And when I'm right, my stubbornness comes up and you cannot get me to say that I've done something when I did not do it. But that's me. That doesn't mean I don't have issues, doesn't mean I don't have problems, doesn't mean I'm perfect. No more than it does you. The thing is to have a heart after God, to have one that hungers for His Word, have one that seeks daily, has a daily prayer, likes to read the scriptures, meditates on them, thinks what it means. I sat here for a whole week before I published this, and I began to meditate what it meant to be pure in heart. As I did more research, studied more, read more, thought more, came to realize I didn't really have a clue, even at that moment, about what it meant to be pure in heart. To have a steadfast spirit, one that won't give up, that looks ahead and keeps moving forward in the Lord. That is pure heart. And that's why I wear a smile when everything goes wrong. Till next time, I hope these videos encourage you. Until the next one, Dan Bowman, saying shalom.